Marjorie Taylor Greene, now outside of MAGA, outside the house, the big tent of MAGA, she got pushed out. She got pushed out by Donald Trump, believe it or not, the one that she supported through thick and thin. I actually have a little bit of a story about Marjorie Taylor Greene, a little bit, just my own personal experience with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Years ago, like 3 years ago, when I didn't even have a YouTube channel, I don't think. Maybe I did, but it was very, very early. Okay. I decided to take a trip to Fulton County, Georgia, because Donald Trump was being arrested. And I ended up attending this. It was somewhat of a, I guess, a protest against the arrest of Donald Trump. Part of it was coordinated and put on by Laura Loomer. I don't know if she actually put on the rally or protest, but she did kind of get the word out. Well, when I attended this thing, there was one congresswoman who showed up, and that was Marjorie Taylor Greene. She showed up to speak to the people. She gave some press interviews, and this was when Donald Trump was being arrested and his mugshot was being taken in Fulton County, Georgia. Yes, and it was very interesting, very eye-opening experience for me personally. I had never been to such a thing in my entire life. I thought that was pretty bizarre because it was almost like a circus. You had all sorts of people. You had protesters. You had people that were supportive of Trump. You had blacks for Trump. You had Laura Loomer screaming her head off at Marjorie Taylor Greene with a bullhorn. Yes, Laura Loomer. She is one of these people who has been leading the fight against Marjorie Taylor Greene from pretty much the beginning. She was calling Marjorie Taylor Greene the B word and all these other things. And at the time, I myself was a little bit questioning Marjorie Taylor Greene because of her support for Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. I didn't like Kevin McCarthy. So yeah, that's kind of my story with Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I will say that this woman has been supportive. It just kind of boggles the mind why Donald Trump would pick this woman to kick out of the party. Yes, very, very mind-boggling. But now Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying that she is receiving threats, and some of these are credible, and she is saying that it is not good. She is afraid for her life. This is what Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted out. This was yesterday morning after Donald Trump put out his infamous post on Marjorie Taylor Greene, kicking her out of MAGA. This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. She said, "I am now being contacted by private security firms with warnings for my safety as a hotbed of threats against me are being fueled and egged on by the most powerful man in the world. That man I supported and helped get elected. Aggressive rhetoric attacking me has historically led to death threats and multiple convictions of men who were radicalized by the same type of rhetoric being directed at me right now. This time by the President of the United States. As a woman, I take threats from men seriously. I now have a small understanding of the fear and pressure the women who are victims of Jeffrey Epstein and his cabal must feel. As a Republican who overwhelmingly votes for President Trump's bills and agenda, his aggression against me, which also fuels the venomous nature of his radical internet trolls, many of whom are paid, this is completely shocking to everyone. My phone is blowing up with constant amazing support. I'm so thankful. The political industrial complex, which this is a term that has been coined by Marjorie Taylor Greene now. She calls it the PIC, political industrial complex. And the toxic, violent nature of American politics must end. Our country is worth saving, and it can only be done if we pull together and save ourselves. And this was followed soon after by this photo right here, where Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, she shared a list of Epstein survivors. She said, "I want to thank the courageous men, or the courageous women who are Epstein survivors that wrote this beautiful letter of support for me. I've got your back. I look forward to seeing some of you this week. Stay strong." And this is what she shared here. Let me zoom this out. Marjorie Taylor Greene, thank you for standing up against the intimidation, silencing, and abuse that Epstein survivors have endured for decades. And then there are a list of names here. Some of them are Jane Does. Some of them are actual people. But this is what she shared. It looks like there's 7 Jane Does, and the rest of them, some of them are initials as well. But this did not silence Donald Trump. Donald Trump kept on, he kept on piling on Marjorie Taylor Greene. And, you know, guys, I I tend to be on the side when it comes to the Epstein issue. I tend to be on the side of you don't get to just say this is a hoax. You have to either do an investigation of the Epstein situation, because I think we all know that there is something going on there. Donald Trump says, well, they don't have the files anymore. They've been altered and they're using this as a political tool. Maybe that's true, but you don't get to just say this is a hoax, forget about it. If they did that, investigation, the American people deserve more than just this is a hoax. I see a lot of people, because I do these videos, they comment and they're like, oh, Donald Trump said this was a hoax. Since when does MAGA trust anybody without any reservations? Since when? Since when is that what MAGA is supposed to be? We made fun of the Democrats for that. We made fun of the Democrats for ignoring or pretending that they didn't understand that their president, President Joe Biden, was basically a vegetable in office. Don't become what we have hated, okay? We deserve more than, oh, trust me, bro, this is a hoax. Maybe it is, but where is the proof, okay? It could be, but where is the proof? And if it is a hoax, investigate the real thing, because there is a lot more behind Jeffrey Epstein than just, oh, he had an island and he flew rich people out there. He's got foreign intelligence ties. People know this. He's got ties to several different countries, including the state of Israel. Yes, it is true. It is true. He had ties to Israeli intelligence. Let's figure out that, because the American people deserve that, okay? The American people deserve that. After they've had your back for so long, Donald Trump, after J6ers went to prison for you, some of them took their own lives because they were hopeless. The American people deserve it, President Trump. They deserve more than just, hey, it's a hoax. But I digress. Donald Trump, he responded to Marjorie Taylor Greene's response to him. He responded to her like this: Marjorie Taylor Greene is a disgrace to our great Republican Party. Yes. And to which Marjorie Taylor Greene responded with this. We got a back and forth going between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump. She says, this and Epstein files is why I'm being attacked by President Trump. It really makes you wonder what is in those files and who and what country is putting so much pressure on him. I forgive him and I pray for him to return to his original MAGA promises. Exactly. What country, what lobbyist, what special interest is leaning on Donald Trump to not release these files or not look into these files? I never said I think Donald Trump had anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein. But what I do think is that there are some powerful people that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein that have a lot of money and a lot of power. Yes. And they tend to be in these very high profile political circles. And these types of people, I believe, have Donald Trump's ear right now. They're saying, don't do it. You can't release the Epstein files. In fact, you can't even allow into polite society anyone who's talking about releasing the Epstein files. Yes. Kick Marjorie Taylor Greene out of MAGA. You got to unendorse her. You can't have anything to do with her. And these are the voices, the whispering little voices that are surrounding Donald Trump. I sincerely believe that. I believe that after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, these voices converged on Donald Trump like vultures. Charlie Kirk was one of the last lines of defense against this kind of stuff. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. My last video, when I talked about Donald Trump unendorsing Marjorie Taylor Greene, I got quite a few people that unsubscribed to me. But I will say this. My channel, what I say, I'm not here just to tell you or be a cheerleader for Donald Trump and the Republican Party. There's a million other channels like that. Yes. I'm here to come and be truthful with what I believe and what I think. When I come on this channel, when I do videos, you're hearing from me what I think. I'm not here to play to the Republican Party or to dance for the Republican Party or the Democrat Party or any party for that matter. I'm here for the America Party. Yes, the America First Party. That's who I am. I'm here looking out for you, the people. And if you don't want me looking out for you, that's fine. I understand. I'm not even here looking out for Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm just saying, I'm just calling things as I see them. Okay, guys? Marjorie Taylor Greene, original MAGA, stuck up for Donald Trump through thick and thin. When I went to Fulton County, Georgia, she was there. She was talking to people. She has always been supportive of Donald Trump. She's not like Thomas Massie, who I love. I'm a big fan of Thomas Massie, but she's not like him in the sense where she votes against a lot of Donald Trump's agenda. Because Thomas Massie, he's a libertarian. That's how libertarians are. No, she's not like that. But yet Donald Trump got rid of her anyways. So she shared this, and she said this is why Donald Trump unendorsed her. Because if you look, she has a Liberty score of A, which is 100%. And she made this graphic here. Liberty score of A, and this is what Trump calls a rhino. And then she compares it to Senator Lindsey Graham, who has a Liberty score of F. And that apparently is what Donald Trump calls MAGA? Lindsey Graham? Are you kidding me? Come on. And then she also shared this, which is the AIPAC tracker, American Israel Public Affairs Committee. There's institutions or organizations that track how much money different politicians get from AIPAC. Marjorie Taylor Greene gets 0. Yes, Thomas Massie gets 0. And it's just another common denominator between the two. I believe they're the only two in Congress, at least on the Republican side. I don't know about the Democrat side. The only two Republicans in Congress on the Republican side who takes $0 from AIPAC. Yes. What a common denominator, huh? And then there, of course, the only two in Congress who are openly critical of the Israeli influence in the United States. And these are the select two that Donald Trump is slamming and kicking out of the party and trying to convince you, the American people, that they are not MAGA, but they are rhinos. It's just like I'm having the rhino term being like redefined in just thin air. I know what rhino is, okay? You don't have to tell me this is a rhino because I don't believe it. I know what a rhino is. You can't just change the definition on me. I'm sorry, okay? But moving on to a little bit more of kind of the surrounding context of all of this Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff. Her boyfriend, Brian Glenn, who is the chief White House correspondent for Real America's Voice. This was his initial response after Marjorie Taylor Greene was kicked out of MAGA. I mean, anyone who is a Trump supporter knows who Brian Glenn is, just like they know who Marjorie Taylor Greene is. He's like synonymous with Donald Trump and his speeches. If you watch any of Trump's speeches, Brian Glenn was the main announcer for RSBN. He would stand there and he would be there for hours covering Donald Trump's speeches. And so, yeah, everyone. I actually met Brian Glenn when I was in Fulton County, Georgia. I actually met him. Nice guy. But this is what Brian Glenn said. He said, "My journey started after I was fired from my previous TV job for supporting President Trump. Getting Trump reelected became the sword I was willing to die on. After months of constant rejection, I finally landed on my feet, blessing me with the opportunity to cover the 2020 presidential election. After the 2020 election was stolen, I was the first and only reporter to cover the election discrepancies in Pennsylvania at a public Senate hearing. The only." Yes, these are OG MAGA supporters, guys. Brian Glenn, Marjorie Taylor Greene. He goes on to say, "I've covered hundreds of rallies and interacted with millions of patriots, listening to their heartfelt stories of why they love and support President Trump. We've shared laughter and we've shared tears, but one thing is for sure, we shared a connection that would change this country, the America First agenda. This picture was taken after the Return to Butler rally, and it pretty much represents where I'm at right now." And then this is the photo of Brian Glenn that I shared. This is after Donald Trump came back to Butler, Pennsylvania, after he had been shot. Yes, it's a very touching photograph. And then he shared this very soon after this, or after his initial response. He shared photos with Marjorie Taylor Greene. He said, "I love this woman. I love this country. God bless America." And he shared 4 photos with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Flip through these. His girlfriend, yes, guess presenting a united front. And then we had this little situation. So after Marjorie Taylor Greene was kneecapped by Donald Trump, you got, I mean, all of these influencers, these, I guess you can call them MAGA influencers that are Trump or die type people. It doesn't matter where Trump might go, what Trump might say, or do they support him? That's like their job. It's, I don't know if they're paid or not. I assume some of them are, but it's like, every campaign, every administration has these people. They're do or die people. They will spin the narrative. They will push a certain agenda. They don't care what it is. That's like their, how do you put it? That's their function. Okay. So there are also smear campaigns, and these people, they share these smear campaigns because what? It's their function to advance the agenda of the administration. Now, I'm not paid by any of these people. Okay. It's not my function. I'm here just to look at it and observe and report to you guys what I see as I see it. Okay. But some of them, they might be paid. Some of them, they just, they're in the circle, so they don't want to say anything other than something that might be positive about Donald Trump, the administration. But Sean Farash, you might know this guy. He is an impressionist. He's one of the ones that impersonates Donald Trump. He shared this, and I've been seeing this all over Twitter lately. It's these accusations against Majorie Taylor Greene and her net worth and how much she made while she was in Congress. And this is just an example of what is happening, okay? As soon as Donald Trump kicks Majorie Taylor Greene out of MAGA, an OG MAGA individual, congresswoman, the vulture circle, they smell blood in the water, and now they are all coming out and trying to pretend like Majorie Taylor Greene is a terrible, disgusting person, and we should all treat her as such, as if the past 5 years don't matter. I don't think this is right, okay? I don't think this is right. But this is what happens. This is what happens to liberals and leftists whenever they are trying to pass an agenda or do something. It's just another way how politics works in this country. It's a zero-sum game. It's black or white. You're either with us or against us. And when you're kicked out of the circle, you're done. You're disgusting. You're lower than a rat. You're worse than a liberal. They're saying that she is worse than John Fetterman. Yeah, there are people coming out on social media saying they want to replace Majorie Taylor Greene with John Fetterman, a Democrat. But this is, I think, probably the most low down and disgusting. This is being shared around. Sean Farash said Majorie Taylor Greene's net worth before taking office in 2021, approximately $700,000. Majorie Taylor Greene's net worth now in 2025, 22 through 25 million. The salary of congressional representative is $174,000. This isn't America first. This is Marjorie first. And this actually is a lie. It's a lie, and it's provable. This was fact check on Twitter, and there were sources provided that said this. So the claim of $700,000 net worth before Congress is inaccurate. Greene's 2020 disclosures covering pre-2021 assets show her business stake valued at $5 million through $25 million plus millions in other holdings. This was disclosed in 2020 when she took office. But yet you have people coming out and smearing Majorie Taylor Greene simply because she's now outside of the circle of MAGA, smearing her just because Donald Trump said that she's a rhino. What? They don't even give her the respect of fact checking what they are saying. She's OG MAGA. Come on. Show Majorie Taylor Greene a little respect. But then Brian Glenn, after all of these accusations were coming out about Majorie Taylor Greene and her net worth and how it increased substantially over the past 5 years when she's in Congress, this is what Brian Glenn said. He said, reading a lot about what the Bible calls the accusing spirit, it's an antichrist spirit that's demonic in nature, used to battle/defeat someone. Wonder why your X feed is jammed with attack posts literally hundreds of times a day, if not more? They're consumed by it as it gives them a sense of power or control, although in reality it has zero control and it rots their soul. The devil is using them as a vessel and they clearly enjoy it. So that is what Brian Glenn had to say, vaguely alluding to these accusations against his girlfriend. And to close this out, we had Alex Jones. He retweeted Brian Glenn and he said, MAGA will survive the neocons' attempted takeover. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a cycle that I think we've seen a lot. This is everyday, regular politics. This is what happens, I believe, when some of these vulture-like individuals, vulture-like interests get too close to Donald Trump. This is what I believe Charlie Kirk prevented from happening, because I think he knows, Charlie Kirk knew this, that MAGA, the younger people, the younger coalition, America First, did not like this type of politics. Marjorie Taylor Greene was loyal to Donald Trump, one of the most loyal. She disagreed with Donald Trump on different things, but that's normal. All politicians do. That happens. And usually they find a way to work it out. But instead of trying to find a way to work with Marjorie Taylor Greene on things like looking at the Israel issue, looking at the H-1B issue, looking at the Epstein client list and trying to figure out how we're going to put this to the American people and satisfy them, because that's what really this is all about. This isn't about Trump or Marjorie or anything. This is about what Marjorie is hearing from her constituents. This is about the American people and what they are asking, what they are wanting from their representation, okay? Now, instead of working with all of that, he has these little people whispering in his ear, oh, you just got to cut her. She's dead weight. She's making you look bad. She's disrespecting you. Can you believe Marjorie Taylor Greene? She's this, she's that. Look at this. She's a rhino. This didn't happen when Charlie Kirk was here. And, you know, we can wish all we want that Charlie wasn't gone or that Charlie was here, but it's a reality we have to live with. And that's just how it is. But what do you guys think? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.